Mia, what have you seen in the group? Are you confident? Do you think they are on the good way? Your entrepreneurs?
Yeah, we had a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much to Jason for really bringing some depth and to the conversation that Bongin Corsi and I were having with Jason.
IDEATION,
and then the new person that we met, Mbuso, before lunch, was very exciting to also hear where he's at. There weren't any of the other education group members this afternoon, but it did mean that we could go into some great depth with Bongin Corsi. At times, it felt like we were really going deep down rabbit holes, but it was also nice to be, not nice, it was encouraging to understand that it's okay to be in that space of discomfort, that space of not knowing, and being willing to explore what is possibly there, to find richness there. And then it was really helpful that Jason just reminded us of the tools we already have and have worked on in this process to go back to, and exactly what you were saying to Itumeleng now. Remind yourself, a few things I noted here. Remind ourselves as we go along, you are targeting the non-customer. So remember to wear that lens of what is important to the non-customer. I always see from their point of view, not what I want and what I'm getting precious about.
Or what I'm doing in terms of system or means.
Yeah. It's about what is important to the non-customer that you decided to address or solve a need for. Then Jason also reminded us to use the ERC grid, the eliminate, raise, reduce, create, to help prioritize which ideas we'd like to continue with. And then just overall kind of remind ourselves, just check in every now and again whether we are still actually addressing pain points, or we've gone completely off track and now we're solving something else, or we've veered into different territory. Is it okay to have gone there, or should we pull it back, or is there richness in going off track, or is it good to just now and again go, am I actually still busy with what I clarified in the beginning as the pain point? And the fourth thing I noted down, where is the value being created and delivered? And these 4 points kind of kept us, were nice hold-ons as we were going anywhere and everywhere and into various rabbit holes with what ifs of what exists, what could exist, who is it important to, who are we actually speaking to and addressing. But there were these few grips that kept us anchored in terms of being willing to go far and wide, but also being brave enough to take the next step, and keep the momentum going.
Yeah, sure. Just
to get completely lost.
To complete what you say,
beautifully, it's the handrails that matter. It's the structure. People think that creativity is without structure, but actually creativity is with structure. And so in our work today, structure that we created was pretty powerful. And I frankly think that there's something big there that we created. And we'll have to test it and let's see if there's a there, but I think there's something big there.
Yeah, it's kind of liberating while having that little bit of safety that we haven't lost our way completely. So just kind of now and again.
We haven't lost our minds, Mia.
which is a great place for me to be, but it's not so great for momentum on a program. Thanks, Jason, and thanks for Bongin Corsi for really going there.
Because it's very active. Just to complete what you said, Maya and Jason, here you see, like we said, the first objective is to have listed a maximum of IDs, and when you have this list, you can here go in details and ask yourself exactly like you said. Okay, will I give for this ID I like, or this ID I think there is something, who will be this non-customer I will address, and you can give details directly in the description of your ID. You can detail also the value proposition, and you can ask yourself, okay, what do I really eliminate for the customer compared to the standard offerings for this industry, and what do I really create? Meaning it's something new, unique, a new value I will bring to these customers on this industry. You see, so yeah, it's you can go back to your list and edit the ideas you like to give them more consistent, to be bigger with more details, and ask the right question. Asking this question, maybe sometimes you will find, okay, in fact, this idea I like, I eliminate some things, some values, but I don't create really something. So maybe I can mix with another idea I like and see if I can be inspired and merge several ideas to make something really strong, really with really an impact. So this is the first question, and also you prepare doing that. You prepare your ability to order your ideas, using this tool here, and also you can use the PMS map we have introduced this morning to find maybe your top 5, something, your top 5 ideas, to be ready, and to continue on the 3rd of February with all the details and all the strategic profile for your maybe 1 or 2 based ideas. Yeah, Jason and George, you want to complete?
No, I spent some time with the housing couple, and then Bami walked in by accident and was grilled. So that,
yeah, it was very interesting.
Yeah. So they've now got a number of potential ideas, so it's good. Otherwise, they were stuck in. They had an idea and then they would discount it because they didn't think it was feasible. And I said, don't do that now. Wait for later. So I think we're on a good path.
Yeah, and of course, it's very, I think, interesting that you maybe mix the group, and you visit, each of you visit another industry to have the group will get some feedback from you, and you will be fueled by this approach.
Conversation.
And because as you understand, when a blue ocean ID will be certainly 99% of the case, it's at the frontier of different industries. So it's exactly, you can access this with the sharing. And also entrepreneur. We can maybe have a round table. We are not a lot here with the energy group. Bami, Brighton, and Bami, Brighton. What is your feeling? Do you feel confident to have enough ID to produce this ID, to find them and then to select them?
I just wanted to, just give my 2 cents.
Yes, Natalie. Yeah.
I will remember not to speak after Mia, innovation expert, ever again, because she had so much to say, and because this is her sweet spot, right? This is her happy place. So I joined quite late today, so apologies for that. I spent a little bit of time with Kanayo this afternoon. And my comment would be there are many more interviews to be done. because that is where the ideas will come from. So more interviews, more pain points to be discovered. Yeah, and therefore more ideas.
I don't agree on that. I think especially the energy group, they are ready. They're ready. They have a good. They have a good level of understanding on the key needs for the non-customer. They will not really get more with more interviews, in my opinion. But I know they have meetings, interviews with Johannesburg, with Monique from the Smart City department. It would be a good complement, but I think they can use also this interview to have Monique reacting on some ideas they already have and they like, because now they are in this ideation process and they are, I think, already good ideas. They have a good description of their 6 paths. And as like we said, the process to generate ideas and to a maximum of ideas is to focalize on each of the described paths, to focalize on the key needs I've identified. And I think they are quite good because with the interviews from Bami, Brighton, Canayo on the energy industry, they have almost quite clearly understood the big elements, what is big on these key needs. And it's all what they need. They don't need more details, I think, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Okay, cool. That's
maybe
fine.
George and Jason, you have your another opinion?
No, we discussed different methods of energy generation and regulations, there is a big monopoly in the middle of the whole industry. So how does ESCOM react to innovations on the fringes, et cetera, But I said, for the moment, don't let that stop it. But, we talked about incineration, waste incineration, etc. Paris, for example, generates a lot of electricity for the city from the waste they burn.
Yeah, Bami, Brighton, how do you feel? Do you think you can still complete your ideation with continuing the process, and it will be easy also to select and to merge and select some ideas? How do you feel?
Hi, Alban. Yeah, no, I think we're on the right track. It's just that we need to polish up on I think the biggest challenge will be to come to an agreement on which idea to actually go through with. But right now we've gathered quite, it's not really a lot, but it's substantive enough for us to come and choose and pick one from the lot that we have grouped together. So yeah, I think I have a good feeling about this. We just need to see it through.
Yeah, and it's with discussion, with exchanges, sharing the ideas you like, and with different persons, having feedbacks. It will make you complete and feeling more comfortable and build this idea. And of course, from the 3rd of February, this process will continue, because you will already have your top 5 for the 3rd of February with the session starting on the 3rd of February. You will need to be clear about your top 5, and this process of building the matrix, what you eliminate, reduce, create, and so on, it will make you going one step further and making choice on what is really this new offering. It will be still maybe moving. It's normal. So it's still a continuous process.
Yes, I agree with you. That's what we are looking forward to do.
Bami, it's okay for you?
Yeah, it is. I think it's just more about extracting, you know, some of the stuff a little bit more from the interviews. I think we have all the interviews. It's just more extracting it, Natalie. But we also have a good understanding of the key needs already from the interviews that we had. So many of the ideas we can already start ideating even without, you know, sitting and going through those, which is what we've done so far. Of course, we need to get more and more ideas out and then choose from them, like Brighton said. And yeah, I think otherwise we should be good. So once we just extract information from those interviews that we have.
Yeah, okay. And of course, if you feel you need to complete interviews, of course you can proceed, and also with Monique and other maybe planned interviews. It's possible. It's feasible. Okay, and so we have the group education with BOCorners. Yeah, BOCorners representing the education group, and Mbozo also just join us on this industry. So BOCorners, Mbozo, how do you feel regarding your ideation and then the selection to be ready on the 3rd?
Yeah, no, it was very informative, and I really appreciated. You know, Jason basically took me on a tour of the portal, and you know, just breaking it down as to, you know, what has been covered previously, which was a very informative session, and also engaging and hearing what others are also, you know, what ideas are out there in terms of education. And it was also encouraging that the ethos behind, you know, that Jason shared, you know, resonated with me, you know, quite strongly. You know, when he said, for instance, that we are looking into education, we are looking for solutions that are non-conventional or non-traditional ways, which takes us out of the red ocean into the blue ocean. So, you know, I quite appreciated that. And yeah, and I also got the opportunity to share with the group the journey that I have traveled in terms of the, you know, what one has done in the education space, you know, up to the prototype. And it's quite interesting. Actually, I even shared with them today that I had to rush to meet a customer. In fact, effectively becoming the best customer to sign up a 12-year contract. And so it's a very interesting space to be in, and the customer happens to be a grandmother buying the product for the two grandchildren who are currently in grade 1. And one would then provide them with a toolkit, which is currently at a prototype stage, and also the support, the necessary support, so that the parent is able to, you know, utilize the facility, and you know, is able to give support to the child at home going forward. So essentially, that is where we are. And the bottom line was to say that there's a lot of work that I need to put in myself to catch up with everybody else in terms of the WPS map. Completing that. So I'm willing to put that effort, and I explained that in fact, it was due to the fact that this coincided with the exams, which I was focusing on during November and December period.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry. BOCorners was working for 2 or 3 people at the same time. Don't worry.
Yeah. And also,
yes,
it was really fascinating to see what your business model is. And as we talked about, we have to use it as a stress test. So if you use the tools of Lotion Strategy to stress test your offering, that is fantastic. And so I'm very glad you're going to do that.
Thank you.
Bongikosi, you want to? That's right. Yeah.
It's a great offering you have already, and but let's make it better.
Yeah, clear. So stress test this approach. Bongikosi, you want to complete? You feel confident? Yeah.
This is getting more interesting each and every hour. Just when you thought, oh wow, I'm taking this, then boom, Jason comes and Mia, they point you in a beautiful direction where you be like, wow, okay, oh okay, I never thought of it. So today's session actually was something else actually, because I had ideas, and there are things that I didn't really think of, and so it was great. I really uncovered so many things, and I have still so many questions to ask of Jason and Mia too. So yeah, it was really great. And from a psychological perspective, I would say, well, the mind is flooded by ideas and questions, and yeah,
it's good. Yeah, at this time, at this moment on the process, it's normal that you see a lot of potentials, and it's good. It's very valuable, and it validates that you are well in the process. And then you will converge. You have time. We say it again. You all have time to decide, to make your short list, to merge, to talk around with family, friends, with teachers, with coaches, to submit them these ideas to see how they react. And yeah, and on the 3rd of February, we will converge. You need to come with a top 5, ideally, your top 5 ideas, and they can be a merger of several ideas. And we'll start from that on the 3rd of February. But it will be continue also. This on the 3rd, you have not maybe totally decide what will be exactly this project. We'll continue to define the project.
Definitely. No, it's great. Kudos to you, Jason and Mia. Thank you very much for the session. Looking forward to more.
Thank you, Bonkas.
Great. And we have also Matoke and Empo for the housing industry. So how do you feel, Matoke, Empo, in your ideation process and selection?
Oh, well, today started out very slow. Our session started out very slow because, like George has already said, he found us stuck on idea number 12. This was mainly because, during this process of ideation, we found ourselves, coming up with ideas and then, interrogate them and then ending up shooting them down, maybe because they sound like something else, or we feel like something of that nature is already in existence. And we were sort of very narrow. We were very narrow-minded in our approach, to be honest. Because we ended up being stuck, and now coming up with very similar ideas to what we have come up with. But obviously, I think just having George and Bami as well, it really helped a lot, because having Bami actually made us realize that there is a certain group of non-customers that we haven't considered, in our yes. And then obviously, man, we started exploring this non-customer a bit more, and I think it also made me realize that we actually are ignoring some of our non-customers within the actual, the whole group, or within the platform. Everyone who is in this program currently is actually a non-customer in a way, you know. So I think just after our discussion today, we will be visiting quite a few of you. We should be direct messaging quite a few of you guys, you know, just to explore a bit more, you know, because so just in a nutshell, I feel like today was very beneficial in for us to actually move from where we are to move to the next stage. Yes, today was very necessary, and yeah, thank you to both George and Bami, Judith as well, you know, for assisting. I actually forgot Judith because we actually had her in the first half of our session before we took a break, and you know that also brought in a very different perspective, and you know it helps because it really gives you, you know, it opens your mind to places where you haven't been yet, you know. So yeah, no, thank you to all three mentioned.
Okay, great. Matoke, you want to complete maybe for the housing group?
Yes. I think already mentioned most of the things that I really wanted to cover there. So I also just want to extend my thanks to George and Bami and Judy there. In addition to that, I think the reason we were limited on ideas is because we were somehow already trying to figure out the solution before we come up with those ideas.
That's a risk.
Yeah. So that's what was creating a challenge of ideas.
Should accept non-feasible ideas. Don't care about feasibility. Yeah, that's very important. To be open to anything. Just focusing on the value you bring.
Yes. So George also made us to realize that also opened more market where we were starting to consider people who are not initially thought we thought as a non-customers, but now we have all this broad number of people who might be able to fit in this line of ideas. So now we can't really wait to get all those ideas down on the platform there, because we're really just jotting them down now. So yeah, looking forward for the next meeting where we'll be having all those ideas, and then so that we can also select the top 5 of those ideas. So yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Jason,
the key idea is to use the structure of the 6 paths to go to the ERC grid. And so that's what we spent a lot of time today about, is what do we stop doing? What do we do a little bit less? What do we do more? And what do we create? And in the education group, we found that we don't have to create anything. It's actually, we need to stop doing a lot of things. Because our non-customer group is the parents, and creating a education plan where the parents learn as much as the student does, I think is a brilliant idea. And it has nothing to do with creation. It is just really taking the perspective of the parent. The parent wants to learn, of course. A parent who pays for their child's education wants to get something from it too. And so we found that if we just start using the constraints, the structure of the ERC grid, it starts making us make decisions. And so anyhow, I had a great day with our group, and I hope y'all did too.
No, it was a good day, and building on what Jason said, I had a conversation with Natalie where she was talking to a parent, and the parent wasn't happy on the educational choices of the son, and then realized that what he was doing, which is, combining, because the father was a software engineer and he wanted to do art. And then the realization that, art and coding can be combined into animation or game development. And suddenly the father was, father thought, hey, this is real.
A good way.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Great. So we'll just share about the next step to have all the dates clear for the next step, because as you understand now, it will be going fast, because we have now this objective on the 22nd of February with the jury, and it's not so far now. We will meet again on the 3rd of February, the 7th and 8th. As we said, to start on the 3rd of February, you need to have your top 5 IDs, quite well defined, quite well, with the details here, ideally with this non-customer address profiles defined, what you eliminate, what you create, the value proposition with some details. So for your top 5, so you will be ready to build the strategic profile, to start with the strategic profile. So it would be version matrix, usage scenario, maybe we start to define the MVP for your product. And you will be ready then for the 17th of February with a pre-jury pitch training. So here from the 3rd, we will be starting to train you on what you will pitch, how you will pitch, what you will pitch in front of the stakeholders. So it will be very concrete. So yeah, I think that's all. I will have a session on the 28th of January with coaches to follow, to have a debriefing of this 3-day session. Of course, until the 3rd of February, you can send us an email when you feel ready with your list of IDs, and maybe point the number. You would tell us the number of your top 5 if you want, or top 10 if you want some feedback from us, so we can directly jump to the platform, to your project, and have a look.
Disconnected.
Yeah, sure. So I was saying that, next step, we meet on the 3rd of February. For the 3rd of February, you need to have to start the session, ideally your top 5 IDs.
Yeah.
Well defined as much as possible, like we did with you, Itumeleng, on the self-monitoring here, giving details and which profiles of non-customers you are addressing with this ID, which value proposition you're proposing to the customer, what do you eliminate, what do you create, compared to the standard offerings of your industry. So
I have a question about that. Maybe this is, everyone could help me with this, because I think my brain is having a hard time understanding this idea of created, because if we're saying that we've eliminated certain things, whatever it is, time and money and cost, surely then the inverse of that is what we've created for the customer, because I think from the customer's perspective, we've eliminated money that they would have spent in hiring external experts, but we've also created more money for them that they don't have to spend on external experts. So so that's what I'm having an issue understanding when we breaking it down and saying that what we've created, because then it will be just the inverse of what we've eliminated from the customer's perspective.
No, not always. In eliminate, created, raised, or reduced, it will be each value element will be appearing only one time. You don't say, okay, I eliminate this and I reduce or I create the opposite. You just and typically created. It's very interesting because it's something very unique. It's a new value you bring. So, for instance, you mentioned time, money. Time, money. Mostly, it will be reduced or raised, mostly because it's not something new, really. But if you bring a new value to the for instance, for the Wii, we gave a lot. We share a lot this example of the Wii by Nintendo. You create a new value, a new experience, which is a natural video gaming. It does not exist. It's unique in this industry of the video gaming. It's something you create. You see. And for yesterday, we had Leonid from Anti-Cafe. Anti-Cafe, of course, he reduce and maybe eliminate a lot of complexity, and also, but he create also something new, which for the customer, which is okay. Now I can have access in one place to a lot of services, just paying by time, and paying by time, paying just pay-per-use in for this where for the space I'm using. It's 9 years ago. It was very new. It was created. That's this, yeah. You see that it's answer your question. You are muted.
I said I think I'll have to watch the recordings again. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. But maybe it's the end of the day. Maybe it's been a long 3 days. I'll have to think about it, because my brain is like, well, I understand that what you're saying, that when you created it, you've created something that the customer did not have before.
Proposed, yeah, it's not proposed yet to him on this industry. Yeah, totally. You know, don't know, you know, the GoPro action cam, compared to the classical industry of the video recorder system, video recording system at this time. You could not. It was not possible to bring your video recorder on your boat, when you are skiing, or when you are running. It was impossible. It's a new value they have created, and it's exactly, most of the time it defines this created part. It defines the very simply the heart of the value and the heart of your value proposition. Define your offering. You know, you can. To be inspired, and of course on the 3rd of February we'll start with that, sharing and showing you again some example of Blue Ocean Matrix, a lot of case study with Blue Ocean Matrix, where we see what is eliminated, created, raised, increased for each of this example on different industries. So, and you can, you know, we have shared all the content we have at the beginning of.
I think I'll have to go back here to sort of think about it more.
Yeah, sure. So maybe, Itumeleng, you want to share your feedback also? I just realized you didn't. The sessions,
Yeah.
You had a lot of ideas. And now you're a little lost in all of that, all this.
Yeah, now I feel like I don't know anything anymore. So I don't know. That's my feedback. I don't know anything anymore. But so I didn't have 150 ideas. I had like 31, but sort of pivoting off from the identified 4 key needs that I got from the non-customer experience interviews, sorry. Then I was able to sort of go through the 6 paths, trying to simplify or identify, sort of prioritize what are those key needs. And one of them was, you know, the most important ones, that they wanted a simpler way of doing things, and it had to be cost effective. And then there was a risk that they would incur. Will the product work or not? And the last one was in terms of production and will the product be delivered? So location and availability of the product was another concern that they had. So then I sort of had, from that I sort of springboarded, and I had ideas It turns out I didn't create anything, so I don't know anymore. So I had all these ideas about how the new offering could then help solve and identify those key needs and sort of make everything. But now when I think about it, I think what I'll go through the 30 odd ideas that I have to sort of maybe put some that belong together and sort of make them into much more cohesive ideas and see if maybe I'll create something.
At least eliminate. It's easier to find what to eliminate and to give details about the non-customer profiles you are targeting. Interesting. Okay, good. So of course, yeah, as I said, you can send us email to Jason, George, and me when you feel ready with your list of ideas, so we can give you a feedback, even have a short discussion before the 3rd of February.
I'd appreciate it, yeah.
And mentioning your top 5, or you just give the number in the list, and we can jump and give you some feedback and make some comments, so to make you feel ready for the 3rd.
For sure, I'll send an email. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Some last comments or questions? All good. Jason and George, you want to? Mempo, you? Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I may have a question. Now, obviously, you mentioned that when we come back, we should have our top 5 ideas, right? So now I just want to find out, are these still just ideas, or are we now looking at the solution? Or are we still sticking to, the ideas for now?
Still ideas. No solution. It's not a problem. In fact, solution. It's better that you put it back for later and always postpone these feasibility questions. It will be when you will be prototyping. In fact, really. But in fact, in the reality, this question of feasibility is just a dead weight that make you feel not comfortable enough to be really finding a lot of ideas. That's always like this. And because when you realize on the big picture, you see that in fact all these potential ideas, any ideas you could have, they are feasible in 99% of the cases.
That makes sense. Thanks.
Jason, George, some.
That will be for the training value. The training, all the training will be.
Good. Good for you, Jason.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
George.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
okay, so
housing seems to have got out of their little block, and now I think they'll have a number of new ideas, and then they should be able to in the next.
Yeah.
And as Alban said, if you want to, drop me a line or whatever, I might actually remember what I said.
And I think just a last comment, it will be more a personal comment on what I see as a global here in all the groups. I think there is a common topic I feel on this energy thing, because energy produced by the agriculture, small energy unit to be very efficient and to solve this problem of load shedding in different districts, or energy production from the household. Also, there is something I think in common. I see something in common with these energy things. I don't know. It's a feeling.
Alban, quick question. I just want to get a little bit of a better idea around what we'll be doing in February. So after the 3rd, what exactly would we be doing from the 3rd all the way till the pitch?
Yeah, we'll prepare the pitch, the content of the pitch. In fact, you will detail your strategy. So you will detail your business model, your offerings, your value proposal, the consumer experience with your project, your MVP. So you give some guideline in terms of what you will test, what you will have to test and experiment if you are selected by the jury to experiment in the city. That's all about that. And the 17th of February will be like a training, a fake jury to train you to pitch, to be ready for the 22nd.
Okay. So essentially, we don't do any prototyping really until after.
No, it will prototype it after the jury. No, it's the jury will give you a go to experiment, and so you will have the support from Veolia and from Scaleway experts to make this experimentation and prototyping at the same time. It's after the 22nd. It's not possible to do a prototype or experimentation in 2 weeks.
Okay.
It takes months.
Okay.
It's clear.
Just a question for.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, just a question for clarity. I missed the date you're saying it's a fake jury. It sounded like 27th of January.
17th February. Yeah.
17th February.
It's this one, pre-jury, pre-training. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. I totally recommend you as much as possible to take part to the 4 next days, because 3rd, 7th, 8th, and 17th of February, it's all to make you ready to pitch in front of the final jury, and it will be quite intensive.
Thank you. I will do so.
All good?
All good.
Of course. Yeah, great, thanks. We meet the coaches on the 28th of January, so in 2 days, just for a quick debriefing and to be sure that all groups are on the track and all is good. Okay, see you soon. Have a good evening and good weekend.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.